Hello, Moneypenny fans. I have missed you. I hope you had a fabulous winter and holiday season. As you can see, it is a glorious spring-like day here in the Midwest. Spring has sprung, and we're all very thankful for that. And you join me, literally, watching paint dry. I think it's about time we got this new season kicked off, don't you? Why are we watching paint dry? Well, let me bring you up to speed with what's been going on since we last spoke. As you may remember from last year, we bought a new project boat, Exhibit A. We delivered it back to Chicago. That was a lovely trip, and there is a mini-series about that, link in the description. We also sold, very sadly, Moneypenny 1, the original boat, or so we thought. Unfortunately, the sale fell through at the last minute, and we were then left with a horrible storage bill to store 2 boats, which we weren't expecting. Re-advertised the boat again in the spring and sold her almost straight away because she was a fabulous boat, and there's no reason why anybody wouldn't want to love her. So she's off to her new home. We're very happy about that, and we have actually closed that sale. However, storing 2 boats put a bit of a dent in the project fund, and so we lost a little bit of money, so we were a bit late getting going on our spring projects. When we hauled out this bad boy, we found that the bottom was in horrible state. We knew it was pretty bad, we didn't know quite how bad it was. So we have done a full tear off bottom job on the bottom of this boat. The layers of anti-fouling and barrier coat and stuff that were on there originally were all done in the wrong sequence. They weren't bonding, they weren't sticking, it was all flaking off. Horrible job stripping the bottom of a boat. Anybody that's done it will tell you. Not fun at all. I'm fairly sure that nobody wants to see hours and hours of me sanding a boat. For those of you who are sadistic like that, here's a 4-second clip done in time-lapse of some sanding. It was awful. Since then, we've stripped the bottom right the way back to glass, and we have done 6 coats of barrier coat. And then we had the yard move the stands so that we can touch in underneath the pads to bring the barrier coat up to 6 coats all around. And that is why I am watching paint dry today, because I've just put 1 little coat underneath the stands, and I'm now waiting for that to dry so I can keep going. So the barrier coat we're using is Interlux Protect 2000E. Fabulous stuff, 2-part epoxy, mixes really nicely, applies really nicely. So this is what her bum looks like at the moment. She looks rather splendid, really. So there's 6 coats of barrier coat, that white stuff, 6 coats of barrier coat, interchanging colours between white and grey, and then where the chains and the stands were, we're just catching that up with another 6 coats. And I'm dead pleased it comes in different colours, because that makes it really easy to see where I have and haven't been. So just got to wait for this coat to dry, and then we'll slap on another coat and keep going. I had faired the hole before we started, so it was already a flat surface, and then all we had to do was just kind of fair out the nap of the roller and give us a nice flat bottom. And as soon as we get done just catching up the coats underneath where the stands and the chains were, then we'll be able to sand off those areas, flatten those out, and put some anti-fouling paint on. Very exciting. While we've been waiting for paint to dry, we are also attending to some of the decorative details on the boat. This stripe has been in terrible condition all the way around the boat, so we're pulling this one off and going to replace it with something bright and shiny and new. We've got one side of the stripes off. It's a heck of a job, it takes an awfully long time. And we are starting in on the second side. The black actually comes off a lot easier than the gold, but that gold, it's horrible stuff. Not quite sure how we're going to do that curve, but we'll figure that out, I'm sure. As you can see, we are almost done with the areas behind the pads. Obviously all of that guff is going to have to be sanded off and flattened out and faired out, but that will give a nice smooth finish like the rest of it, and then we'll be done. Probably 2 more coats of barrier coat, and then we're done with that. Thank goodness. Alrighty, update on the stripe. Pulled the gold and the black off because it was all deteriorated and horrible. been on there for years, falling apart. Spent about 8 hours today with a bottle of acetone trying to get all the glue and gunk from behind the stripe off. That was about as much fun as something that's not very much fun. Update on the top sides. So we've got these painted stripes. Little dust on there, but you can see they're all oxidized and horrible. But when we put a little light compound, a little wax, they come out looking like that. So those are going to shine up like a new penny. And the same as well with the top sides. We've got painted top sides, which isn't ideal, but never mind. But a little buff and a little compound, and look at that, you see the reflection of my car in there between the oxidized gross bit and the mirror finish bit. So we've got this guy right here has had the we've got a little test area there of how we're going to do it. We're going to use Perfectit's 3M Perfectit, the number 3 grit compound, and she should shine up like a new penny. So I have to say I do love. Let's see if we can get the red. Look at the reflection of the car. Very horrible. But that red is just she's going to shine up beautifully. So hopefully she'll turn out all right. Out with the buffer. Here we go. Compounded the boot stripe. That looks lovely. But the big news is we have finally finished the bottom job. So she is now all ready to go splishy splashy with a brand spanking new bottom. Still a couple of things to do. I want to get the shear stripes back on. Needs a coat of wax, but we are making progress. I worked late into the night that night. Spent some time putting the new shear stripes back on. They look nice. New graphics. They look nice too. And then back the next morning for some compounding, some waxing and some buffing. I just stepped inside to talk to you. It's awful windy outside. Sun's come out again though, which is rather nice. So there we go. That's the first part of our refit. Bottom job is all done. Looks fantastic. Top sides are done. Stripes are done. Graphics are done. We are now at least ready to splash. Fenders and dock lines are out. Put a final coat of wax on everything today, and we're going to launch tomorrow. We can start the 2017 sailing season. Yay! Plenty of other projects still to come. A lot of woodwork. We've got to do the decks. We've got to do the fiberglass on the decks and the cabin and the cockpit and all that good stuff. Chase some leaks down as well. That will be a good thing to do. Lots of woodwork. But we're going to save all that for another day, and for now we're going to relax and go sailing. So, question is, was all that work worth it? You tell me. So that's us in the boatyard for another season. We launch tomorrow, which is nice. Poor old Bear was exhausted, he couldn't even be bothered to walk home. If you like watching our videos, please give us a thumbs up, subscribe for updates, feel free to leave a comment, and don't forget to follow us on Instagram at SV_moneypenny.